Hi, you guys. Welcome to Needing Meeting Outdoors. I do not see where to put up the link for entering the meeting from my phone here. I am searching for that. Let's see. Maybe here? Yeah. Here we go. Copied. Paste. And here we go. Anybody wanting to come in and have a meeting? Love to have you join me. So yeah, I am outdoors because we started this brush fire here about 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago, something like that. And I don't want to leave it out here unsupervised, even though the ground's pretty wet still from all the snow and rain that we just came out of. And hello, Henny. Let's see if I can see all of the chat here. Hey, Christy. Hey, Lene. Good to see you guys. So yeah, this was, oh my gosh, it's so pretty, Henny. It's like in the high 60s. It's amazing. Pup is, eh, she's, we got her all calmed down last night. Hi, Tammy. All righty. That's okay. That's all right. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do, including chat. Hi, Cosmic Christy. So yeah, the pup, she was shaking a little bit earlier, so I might have been a little bit too late getting her pain medicine to her, but I did get it to her. And when I went to check on her again, she was fairly calm again. It's going to be a long road, a broken pelvis. That's no big thing. That's a big bone, which means I would assume a big repair, It is totally okay, Tammy. And so, yeah. Let me see if anybody's trying to come in. Doesn't look like it yet. I have to kind of switch back and forth between chat and I just moved my chair over to the opposite side of where the wind was blowing. Now the wind changed directions. And it's starting to blow smoke right at me. Isn't that the way of an outdoor fire? Hey,
how are ya?
I'm okay. How are you?
Good, I'm good. So you're outside cooking something on the fire? What are you doing?
Burning brush.
Ah, yeah.
We've been needing to burn this for a long time. And, the water's starting to come in and the creek's starting to want to go, and we had all the brush piled up in the creek. So I needed to get rid of the beaver dam.
Right,
that beavers didn't build.
I mean, you do have to do that. So very cool. Well, so it must be a little warmer there than it is here. It's like 45 degrees here.
Really? It's like high 60s here.
Oh man, how nice.
It's
yeah, no,
not
here.
Hey, Pup, hey, Plant 3. Yay.
Stasia.
Hey, Sue.
Cosmic. I'm
Hey,
so glad to see you,
yes.
Pepper. Hi,
Yeah,
Lene.
Stacia, we got to hear about your trip. We know, that, right? You do know that. We got to hear all about it.
Yes, yes. So I did a thing. I'm wearing a t-shirt today, which I normally don't do, but I put it on over one of my other t-shirts so it won't like slouch down. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like the way it looks. Like,
okay.
But it was from the stadium tour with Joan Jett, Motley Crue, Poison, Def Leppard.
Nice.
Fun concert. Except don't ever go watch Motley Crue.
Right,
Vince Neil
really?
has lost his voice. Oh man, it was so bad. If anybody offers to take you to a Motley Crue concert, ask them why they hate you.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah. No, don't go. Don't go. It's not fun.
Oh my
How was
goodness.
your trip?
What?
See,
It was really nice to
I'm
get away. It was amazing to see it was confusing to see my friend as well because there's feelings. So that was a little bit confusing. But at the same time, full lot of crap going on and don't have the ability for anything more than friendship. That's good and reassuring.
Mhm. Yeah.
The time was good. I ended up that we had originally moved to a couple of rooms, and the first time was a little bit hard.
Hmm.
The second time was letting go because it was the house that I found hope and lost hope.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was the first time I didn't even realize I had ended up there. I took the dog for a walk and all of a sudden there's the house. So I was like autopiloting, didn't even realize where I was going, but apparently I needed to go and
Wow.
but all in all the trip was great. Just the time turning off my brain and then coming back today was overwhelming. Like coming back last night, I got back in at 7:30 last night and then today was overwhelming. I'm probably
Really?
I'll be closer to Rowan that way. It makes
Oh.
it easier to get Rowan
Okay.
because right now I'm about
Okay.
25 minutes away from the other one. Figure out how to
Okay.
transport him myself back and forth for the every other week to the area in which I'm going to be finding an apartment to see a
Okay.
it's just been trying to figure it all out. And at 5
Right
o'clock
on.
ish, 5:15, I'll have to try and call that other shelter. But I'm waiting for one of the workers here to be available because I'm like, they explained to me my situation's kind of exceptional. So I need to do a really good job explaining it all to them.
Okay.
And to be safe, I need somebody who knows my file, who knows the things that I'm managing and have already gone through and have already attempted, and so that the next shelter doesn't think, oh, she's just trying to go from one to the next. Because that's apparently something that people do. Didn't
Why?
realize that,
I mean, what
but
would be the
apparently that's something that
advantage?
people do.
Yeah.
Do they say why?
I guess
Why
trying
that's
to get as
okay?
much time as possible. Some
Oh.
people try free time as possible, whereas like I'm
Okay.
waiting for social aid and I'm like all of these, it's not my
Yeah.
choice to be waiting for them all. It wasn't my choice
Yeah.
instead of just doing. So
Okay.
yeah. But think about the trip right now just because everything came crashing, like all of this stress, not
Oh.
crashing down, but all of this
Yeah.
stress flooded back and it was nauseating. I wasn't able to eat until about 5-10 minutes.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I'm having a day. Figure it out. I know that it's
Sounds like it.
just stressful thinking about going somewhere else. It has to be done. I can't shut down.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
that's where
No, you
I'm at.
can't.
Well,
No.
and it's good that you have the social worker there to help explain your situation because it's exceptional and that you're not trying to shelter hop or whatever. I mean, that doesn't sound like a good term either,
And I
but
would think that they would look at the amount of time you've been where you are too. It's not like, you're running out of your time, I would think,
But that's
right?
my fear is that, it's generally about 3 months. Up on that mark. What are
Oh.
they going to do at that point?
Oh,
point.
Mm.
okay.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Okay.
So, and it's not like a
But I mean,
choice to be waiting this long.
If you're at the 3-month mark and you don't have any social services help in place, they don't just kick you out, do they?
Won't. I know that.
Okay.
But there's so much unknown about every single house works
Okay.
differently.
Okay.
So that's why I need to and explain everything. Like if it comes down here, who's going to give a call tomorrow with me again if need be. Because ideally I should have Rowan on Friday, which is my birthday. I don't know how the transportation is going to work if I'm here because I don't have a way to get him to that. So it's the best way to put it is nauseating. So
Yeah, I can imagine. Oh. Is there any program out there that can help you get a car or find a car? Could you rent a car? I mean, is that
Not what?
I've looked into services about cars, and there's like possibly a volunteer who can help, but we're still trying to work on that. It's not through the shelter; it's through a different service. It might be easier, is what I was by the other service. So that's what prompted the okay, let's try and move to the other one. It was like 3 calls today with child services too, just to make sure that they understand I'm trying.
Yeah.
right?
And then
Do you feel like that was a productive
that's
call?
difficult. So sorry?
Yeah. Oh, I was just wondering, did you get to speak with anybody who was listening when you made that call?
The Avante Center was listening very, very, very much, and I was on the call. I had the social worker from the Military Family Resource Center that I've been talking with for months.
Okay.
And in the rest of the situation, so that I don't, or if that might have been overwhelming for the other person, but to just in case they answered and were speaking French. But that area that I had that center is in is so that's really, really good. They're just an hour and 30 minutes away from me right now. Anglophone is English speaking.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you
and then Francophone would be French.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There's no way I can financially do that right now.
Just because you don't have the money to do that, like if you had the money, would you be able to rent a car for like the weekend?
I'm pretty sure that I would, but then there's like the deposit. There's like, it's a lot of money to put down for a weekend. You know what I mean? So I tried asking, I'm asking my dad for some help, and he copy and paste answer. And every single time it's, I just spent a ton of money or I just paid off a ton of stuff and there's absolutely no way I can help. It's like, okay, thank you very much. And I don't want to get upset. So I'm just not even letting myself get upset over that. Sorry. No, I heard the speaker go off. So I was thinking that maybe they were going to be calling. Yeah, it's a cluster F right now.
Okay. Yeah. Shoot. There's got to be
going
a
away
way.
was really nice. Going away was really nice, but it was also coming back to, it's
Life.
not like I'm coming back to more. Yeah, it's just coming back to where I was at and being so relaxed and having feelings was strange. Coming back to this, it's like I can't even focus on that. And I knew I couldn't, knew I wasn't going to be able to. Of course, my brain was like, oh,
Well,
So,
yeah. I think it's valid to take a break. Like, in college, I took a study course for college to teach you how to study and how to take notes and all that stuff. And one of the things they recommended is to go ahead and back away from it and take a break, even though you've got all this crunch stuff that you got to get done. Just step away for a little bit, because
yeah.
you do get into overload, and that's
Yeah.
not, you're not
And
going
I
to do much good in
definitely
overload.
was there.
Yeah.
I definitely was there, especially that Monday before I left. So last Monday.
Yeah.
So I knew I was there. I knew I needed to get away. I knew I needed to take my friend up on taking off for a little bit. I guess I didn't prepare myself to feel coming back.
Okay.
And even then I did, but
That's right. That's right.
I didn't prepare myself enough for that. So, yeah.
Well,
My best to breathe through the
but
day.
in a way, that's good though, because you really did
Manage
go on
this next
vacation.
call. Yes.
Sorry, next
Yes.
call. Okay.
No, it's okay. I really did go on vacation. It was nice to kind of be in a place I could go anywhere and I could if I wanted to, That was really nice. Like even at the grocery store, we went to the grocery store and just like going to switch the language at the self-checkout to French because it's or to English because it's, and he's like, why are you doing that? I'm like, oh, right. I'm in Ontario. Oh my God, that's right. So like it was nice. It definitely. Oh my God, right now.
Yeah. Well, you got on top of it before. You'll get on top of it again.
Exactly.
When is
exactly. I had a meeting just before I jumped on here and ate food. Excuse me. And or you'll do it again. You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's just the stress. So I'm trying to rest in my head, essentially. Trying to think in my rational mind. I've done this before. Not let my body and my brain take over and go was finally out of.
Yes.
Right now.
Hey, Cosmic. Oh, come on.
We lost
Come
her.
on.
There she is.
There we go.
Hey, Cosmic.
Hey.
Hi.
Good. Been sitting here getting all angry.
Uh-oh.
No, I just
Why?
want to say, is there any way that you can... Oh, no, just hearing about this stuff. It just doesn't seem fair. Stasia's stuff. So, is there any way that you can outlet your feelings about this whole thing in a safe way?
Are you talking to Plan?
Not without it looking bad upon me. And that's the part that I have to be really careful with right now.
Okay.
That's what
I have to be super careful because with child services involved and me being a bad person in that right now, I have to be extremely careful. So
That's why I said in a safe way.
yeah.
Yeah.
And and right now I can't think of a safe way of doing so. And on my trip, I ended up having a friend try and get me out to go to the bar, which was not a good idea whatsoever. I think I told you guys
Uh-oh.
already, actually.
Yeah.
And even being around, I can feel proud of myself. I can feel proud of myself. They were bulldozing my I can feel good about
Yeah.
that stuff. So
Yeah.
trying all day to just think of those things and
Yeah.
crumbling under everything else. I'm trying to think of the positive things that I've been able to do with
Yeah.
child service.
Yeah, that's
Anything
good.
I've done positive right now.
Yeah, well, that's
Oh,
because they're not letting
so
you. But you
that's just,
just think
it's really messed
about
up.
all the things, how far you've come, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I say. I think I said it recently. You know, we can all look bad on paper, but if you're not taking it, everything else isn't taken into context. It's
Yeah.
it's a bit shit. And it's not fair.
It
Yeah.
not fair.
Did
But
your
Yeah.
that's
And
what I
I
was
would
saying.
think the
Like,
purpose of a
you can
hearing
go
is
around being,
to put flesh on what's on paper, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
And you can go around being as positive as you like, but you are allowed to have moments of anger. I'm just saying, you know, just if you can express it in a way that is safe and isn't going to do harm to yourself, and you know, because we're still really early, you know, you have to take that into account.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I'm
just you're allowed to express
trying to
yourself.
keep
Go
all
for a
of those
walk and
things in
scream at a
mind.
tree. Yeah, go for a walk and yell at a
Yeah.
tree, or just go and tell the tree off or something. You know, this is stop putting your leaves on the floor. It's not very nice. You know, just do something that expresses it, but
Hi,
it's in
guys.
a way that
Hang on.
safe. Yeah,
There we go. That's better.
and just beat the crap out of a tree. You're not going to hurt
Yeah.
the tree. You know,
yeah, but don't
Exactly.
do it when
Swing it
anyone
like a
else can
bulldog.
see because they're get a
Yeah.
turkey leg and beat the tree
Yeah.
out.
Sorry about that.
What is that sound?
That is the phone being the backup thing.
Oh, gotcha.
How do I?
You're echoing.
Yes, I know. I'm trying to fix this. I'm trying to leave. Thank you so much. Woo!
Does your attorney
Yeah, I think
have? Go ahead.
sorry, just
Does your
I can't
attorney
remember now,
have
but just
any ideas of how? And that's okay. Does your attorney have any ideas of how to help with the shelter situation or explain anything to social services? Are you going to have to get a new attorney when you move shelters?
no, I won't have to get a new attorney. There's also a catch to that. My attorney
Right,
I will
that's
have
right.
I will have the lawyer from, and I've been emailing her today to see if I can transfer the same telephone number, and because if I just transfer it and he decides that he wants it back, then that can screw me over too and look really bad. To wait for that answer to be able to make a cell phone. Also tomorrow's the first appearance for restraining order, and nobody contacted me saying it was the first appearance. And any of that works here. And she said that it wasn't her who would be taking care of it. It would be the criminal side. And then she gave me like an abbreviation and an email. Can you explain that abbreviation? And wasn't I supposed to get a call beforehand because I didn't? So
I can tell you how it works from the way over here
I'm
because I had a similar experience,
okay.
and I think our
Okay.
laws are very. Well, I wouldn't say they're exactly the same, but I think being a Commonwealth country. But as far as so with criminal stuff, like with my particular case, the criminal stuff, I had to keep on top of that and find out what was happening because they did not have any type of what's the word? They didn't have to contact me to say what was happening, but I kept on top. So I was the one calling when I thought, things should be happening and all that sort of stuff. And I was the one who was making sure that I was aware of whatever court dates that particular person was made to go for as far as criminal stuff. But as far as anything to do with family court, like DV type things, then I am made aware. I have to be there. That's why you have to know, is because I have to be part of it. But as far as the criminal stuff, that's taken care of by the Crown, they call it. By the prosecutors. Yeah, so
that's where I was confused because it's the restraining order for DV.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's when it turns. So a DV is a civil thing. It's generally a civil aspect where you're meant to be of good behaviour.
Yeah,
and it turns into criminal when you break that. So when you breach that DV, then it turns into criminal, and then I don't know. It's sucky, but once they breach it, it seems like all control is taken out of the victim's hand. We're not allowed to know what's happening. We're allowed to know, but they don't seem to have a requirement to tell us because we're not meant to be. We don't have to be there, so we don't need to know. So because it's basically being prosecuted by the police. So
okay.
And I can't imagine that it would be too much different being in Canada.
So yeah.
So it sucks. It sucks because I'm just thinking, why aren't I told? Why do I have to keep on top of it? But it's like if they had to keep on top of everybody who needed to know, they'd be endless. So it's on us, which sucks. It's on us to keep abreast on top of everything because they're not going to keep. They don't care. We're just. Collateral damage, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
Wow.
We just got to keep on top of it ourselves, which is, I'm sorry to say, but and if you do, it's better for you to keep on top of it as well because then you know what's happening because they won't tell you.
So I'm gonna have to try and work on that too.
Yeah.
It's so sad
so you just have to keep in touch.
As a victim, all of those rights are taken away from you to know what's going on and to be warned and to, like, obviously if it's a restraining order. Now, I don't know how it is here in the States. So maybe it's exactly the same. I don't know. But obviously something happened that caused the two parties involved to not even be allowed to be around each other. So you would think at the very least the law would say, "Oh, you need to know, like you can't be here and you can't be here." That's so.
But when you think about it, it is frustrating, but it makes a lot of sense because until everything's finalized, if as a victim I have a right to, or any victim has a right to know what the other person as a perpetrator or whatever the other side is doing, then that means in a legal sense, that means that person has a right to know what we're doing at any time. So in a way, it's kind of protecting the victims. In protecting the victims, they're taking away so many of our rights.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is everybody?
I understand why they do it, but it doesn't make any sense. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry. I was also looking at other phone here quick, and it's just I got a response, and basically, the Crown attorney has to try about what he did. So I don't know what his defense will be, but he had videoed the court for child services, and I'm sure that he's going to take that to the other one too. I don't know.
Oh man.
I don't know.
Well, look, in the end, at the moment, it doesn't look good for you, right? And just think that it's just for now. But people find it really hard to hide who they are So it's not going to take very long for the truth to come out. So, you know, and it
Yeah,
sucks.
that's true.
because you are
That's true.
It is, yeah. So in the end, like, you know, it's just going to take time, and I'm sorry because this is really, really shitty, and it's not the way that it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be this way at all. But it's the way of the law. You know, they treat the victims as if we're a little bit crazy, especially if the other person says it. I don't know. I've been so not taking attention, but I know from my own situation, because that person made me look like I was crazy. That's why I look bad on paper.
Yeah.
But if they just take it into context and
Yeah.
take everything he's done into context, then I don't look crazy. I look like I was a victim.
And
Yeah.
you're
So
Yeah.
and
And that's
hopefully,
I wish
is your
it-
doctor's stuff going to go into the evidence and all that? Oh, sorry. Plant fruit.
hopefully I don't.
Oh no.
well, why did it take like
Nothing that
so
anybody
the
has
doctors
asked me
think
for.
so really? But isn't that half the reason why that you got such a raw end of the stick, or raw end of the deal, or whatever? I'm messing up my things.
Yeah. And then
because because they use mental health against us all the time.
yeah. And then the bottom of the email says maybe it's not is trial, or maybe I think she's trying to say maybe date will be fixed, and that I will have to know.
Yes. So
But so I'm kind of hoping that sounds like really bad because I don't want to deal with it, but kind of hoping that a trial date is. If it is, I've got a lot of people backing me up now, and a lot of workers that I've been talking to, and they've been dealing with how to help me through therapies. It's not like you can fake the issues that you're having.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see how that all goes. And
nothing but faith.
It left my head very quickly because I knew it was stupid. But I wanted to just live in Ontario and stay. And I knew it was stupid. And I'm like, I have to go through these steps right now. These are the hoops I have to go through.
Yeah.
But it was easy for that thought to come in today, and I've been able to push them away really. I was getting better at pushing them away. That they're ants, and today it just took a little bit longer. So.
Yeah, understandably so.
See, I have a bit of a different view about the ants. Sometimes you need to feed the ants so you know what the ants want, so you can get rid of them. It's the only way to poison the ants. Is to know what they want. So sometimes I'll sit there with the bad
For me, I cycle in it. Yeah.
Well, you just
for me, I completely. I don't know how to stop it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, just a whole bunch of therapy has helped me, and that's all I can say. It's therapy, and I know it sucks because there's so many people who don't have access to therapy, but there's so many different therapies that are available. But therapy is the only thing that helps because I now know how to stop the ants if I want. It's just something, but I don't know whether that's something that everyone can learn. I'm sure they can, like box breathing, box those ants in with your breath.
Yeah, but and I can say that I've been stressed out today, and I still haven't taken any medication, so that's good. That I can look at that as a positive thing. Whereas if this was when everything first happened, I was taking medication twice a day, and I was going through just as much. It's just different this time because I've worked the muscle a little bit this time. I've learned how to strengthen that muscle and be able to use it this time instead of having no idea where to start.
No, you've got some sort of foundation there.
Exactly. So, yeah. Breathing.
It's a tough.
Sorry,
place
I'm
to
bringing
be.
everybody's mood.
No,
you're not.
not at all. Not a bit.
It always lifts my mood to see your face. So
Yeah,
you can see that.
yeah.
You know,
Thank you.
it's a difficult place to be when you're dealing with a manipulative abuser because
Yeah.
they know you. And whether that person is an ex or a child, a coworker, a friend, they know all of the things to say to get you to not look so good. And I agree with Christy. You know, it looks bad right now. People's true colors do come through, and he is gonna show his backside, and it is going to come through, but I know that doesn't help right now, and I know that it's very overwhelming. I mean, I can't imagine what it must be like to be in a country where you don't, or a province where you don't speak the language, where you know you've got all of these things going on, and it really makes me angry that they're not even really trying to help. Like, I mean, I'm sure that they think that they're helping, you know, maybe part of the people. It sounds like part of the people really are, and part of the people aren't. And, you know, and it is a lot
Yeah.
to come back to. I mean, I know you didn't come back to more than you left, but when you have that nice break, it is a nice break. But then you do have to come back to reality, and that's kind of difficult. But hopefully this will all get sorted out, because it kind of sounds like they're listening to him a little bit more than they're listening to you. And hopefully you will get somebody maybe in this new shelter that you go to that really knows how to fight hard, maybe is passionate about it, maybe they've been through the system, maybe, you know, maybe they know something, maybe there's something available that's just not.
Does he speak French?
Yes, yeah. He's bilingual.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
He
know. If
can't
it's
read
the same
French, but he can.
I don't know if it's the same in Canada, but
So
it seems to me that French people I've spoken to are very arrogant about the fact they know how to speak French. French people, but that's just my aunties and uncles and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, as far as so him speaking French, do you think that gives him an advantage?
No, I think the videos gave me a big disadvantage. Even when the court said he's doing this and he looks way too calm, even when the court said that, the videos still make me look horrible.
Yeah.
Not show
How are they?
the rest of the
situation.
So they're taking it out of context. They're taking small snippets of what someone. Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, see, I'm gonna have that same issue, but the thing is, I've had
the full video that he submitted to the court. It's the full video of our life. This is not anything else. It's not showing his free of that stuff. Because anytime that I would start recording, whether it be, you know, voice record or record, of course he stops completely. It's like he's able to just turn it on and off.
Ooh,
You've heard of reactive abuse, right?
Yeah.
So reactive abuse is where, say, I've been, or anybody's been abused for such a long time that eventually they start reacting. So they don't just take it.
Yep.
In the end. They start reacting. So that is something that maybe you should talk to someone about and just say, why isn't that being taken into account, that I suffered all this years of abuse and then I start reacting, and that's when he starts taking the film. Why are you not taking into account everything into context? And I think that might be somewhere that there may be
child services here child services here training online regarding that. And that's just a little tiny snippet. They're working on training their individuals better, but it's for what it is. It's not. I read an article just shortly before my last court date, and it was written on January 16th regarding this. So
Yeah.
I walked into court scared, and I walked into court scared because it's literally what happened. It's the reactive abuse that is being just seen as a crazy person.
You cut out a little bit on that last bit, Plant Freak.
But again, the judge, at least, it's the reactive abuse that they don't have enough training on. And the judge, something that gave me a tiny bit of hope that she might see it.
Okay.
And I'm just like, okay, well, maybe she's seeing some of it, and I just need to push through, and I just need to keep proving my. It sucks to have to push through and keep proving my. Now I feel like I'm being abused by a sim.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. Hey. So I think you're going to have to get your lawyer to look into it and do some research and present that to whoever sees it, because if they don't take that into account, they're not taking into account the full picture. So, like, because they have to take into account that sort of stuff. They just say, I don't know, someone got away with murder recently because they had too many cones or something, too many marijuanas, and so they took that. They took her situation into account. Why can't they take this into account? And this is like, nothing is bigger, but that was a murder, and they took her situation into account. Why aren't they taking yours into account? It doesn't make any sense. I know there's different systems. One's America, one's Canada, blah, blah, blah. And also, you seem like a refugee in your own country. How does that make sense?
Yeah.
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 That's a good point.
Quebec is very different than every other province. And not only that, like social aid stuff, I have to qualify to get services in English. Somebody on the phone who's English to talk to them, or even go to the office to get somebody who's English to talk to them is near until I for this. Because of a law that they put in January of 2022.
You're cutting out.
The French language in Quebec. So all the law that was passed says that all services, all government servants, and that you would need to qualify to obtain English services. And I don't even know exactly what it takes to qualify for that, because I haven't had that. I haven't been able. And that went in place January 2022. Just before. Sorry, went in place January 2022. Can't hear me still?
I can hear you now.
I can hear you. I remember we Googled that law.
So
I remember we Googled it, and it said, to preserve the culture or whatever. Now, if you move to a different shelter, is everything going to stay in Quebec, or is it going to go to your new thing because Quebec is where it started?
Well, the new shelters, even in Quebec, be moving 35 minutes away.
Quebec. I thought you were.
There's no way that I can leave Quebec.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if I want to work towards 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to get in at this point. That's the best that I can do. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I'm just looking at the time though. I'm going to run because for when I should be making a call with the other work, just to try and figure that. stuff
Okay.
out. But really, thank you so much for letting me vent all of
Yeah.
this today.
100%. And keep us posted.
I will. Okay. Good night, guys.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Bureaucracy. Why is it? It seems so evil.
You know, yes, it is. It is. I mean, to take somebody like this is how I see it, and you know, we all know I don't see everything the right way, but to take somebody who grew up speaking English, knows English, you know, followed a significant other to that state or that province for military purposes, who then got abused, like, why would you not? Here's what. Here's the thing. It's like this. You know, here in the States, you push 1 for English, 5 for Spanish, whatever. You know, even people that are here illegally can get help in their own language. And
Yeah.
that's what's frustrating. It's like if
Yeah.
even here, the people who are not really supposed to be here, and I'm not going off on a tangent again, I promise. But if the people who are not even supposed to be, who are not even here legally, who did not even do it right, can get help and money and aid and things like that, it is. And I understand it's a different country, but that is so frustrating that you can't even help somebody who doesn't know the language, who has gone through this, and it just, I don't, it's the humanitarian in me that just wants to shake everybody, because it's like, do you not understand? This is a human. And again, for me, it goes back to human rights. This is a human. This is a mother. This is a child who left an abusive situation, and you're just wallowing around in it with the pigs just as well. Get up, get a hold of yourself, act like somebody, and do something. Like, now I know you can't just go
Well,
say that to, you know, to the lawyers. Like, I get it, but
I have. But as far as like, even with refugees, that's a human issue. They're escaping an
yeah,
abusive situation. But it's just like, but when it's someone in your own country, I don't understand why, like,
yeah,
why things are so hard. Like, I can barely speak sometimes, and I have other people come speak for me, and that's perfectly acceptable. I don't understand why in her own country, Stasia is not treated like a citizen,
Yeah.
regardless of the province. Like, I'm a citizen. Well, sorry, I'm not technically a citizen of Australia. I'm a resident, but I'm a resident at any place of Australia that I want to be. I could be out in, any place in Australia. I'm a resident, and I don't
you know,
understand why it doesn't work that way. As far
I don't
as
either. I don't either. You know, it seems like such a hindrance. And I understand wanting to preserve the language and preserve the culture, but when it comes down to a human rights issue, I'm sorry. Whether you speak French or Portuguese or English, it really ought not matter. Like, these are human lives, period. Human lives.
okay, CK's
Mm,
confused. No, sorry, CK and Shell are confused. What's happened with Stasia is that she was in a really abusive situation. She got out, got herself sober, clean, but her former partner is now using her previous life against her to stop her from having the contact with her son that she needs. Basically, the system is being used against her.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but that seems to be so. It's common everywhere. I don't understand why systems is used against any victim.
mm-mm.
Like, and sure, their onus is on the victim to prove that they're the victim, but is it really on the victim, or should it not be on the system to prove that there's victim there, or to
I don't
prove that whoever is?
You know, you shouldn't have to prove that you're a victim. Now, I mean, I understand there are people who abuse the thing, but if you go to them and you're like, here's this, you know,
But you have to prove everything when you're a victim.
I
There's no,
and
There's
that
no,
is so Like, I mean,
And not only,
I understand.
I
in-
understand that to the degree that I
So
do.
I understand so that
But-
people don't get wrongly accused. I
Yes.
wouldn't want anyone to be wrongly accused, but
Right.
victims have rights, and the abuser should not have any more rights than the victim does. It blows my
right.
mind that you, Cosmic, and Stasia would have to stay on top of a restraining order, something like. How do you do that? How does the system expect you to in anybody's find housing, find employment, find transportation, fight for custody, heal yourself, help your child, and you have to stay on top of this case here and that case there and this case over there? Like, that is absolutely ridiculous. And again, I understand it's a different country, and you know, like, I get it,
doesn't
but
matter what country.
it's not okay.
I know it's not
It's
okay.
not.
What they're doing is making the victims make sure the system works. Because if we don't fight, then we get lost in the. And this is any country. If the victims don't fight to be heard, then we're lost. And that's of any victim, could be anything. And we have to keep on top of a system that kind of ignores us. And you can look into any true crime thing. Look at all the people who are missing, the parents out there who are.
Mm-hmm.
Misha, you know, all these parents out there who are fighting because the system is not there to help the people. The system is there to keep the system in place. If that makes sense. I'm not even like
Or the system is there to help people who have money. If you have money, you can get a lot of things done. And that's the other
that's
thing.
part of the system.
You know, like, it should not be that way. You know?
Yeah,
It's just,
exactly. See, exactly how that, like, victim could. There's so many people out there, and there's so many words now that are being misused that I dislike. Victim, trauma. You know, like, I don't like being called a victim. I'm not, because I survived. But you know, but it's just like, there's so many people out there who, and not only like, so just say I was the main person who had the crime perpetrated against, but my children witnessed it. They are also victims.
Yeah.
And then if they carry that trauma on into their future, whoever they come across are also victims of whatever trauma I went through. So the victims, there's many victims to any crime, whether it be small or big. But like, especially if it's, I'm talking about violent crime. Violent crimes, it's something that stays generational.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and
It's
it's something that it's really hard to turn around. So you know, anyone who can turn it around is amazing. And I just, you know, I've tried my best to turn it around. I can't say I've succeeded in every instance. You know, there's been times where my life has been touched by violence, but in the majority, I've stayed out of that lifestyle as much as possible. And I think, you know, I'm pretty proud of that. And, you know, I think in all ways, we're all here because we're trying to fight against something that's keeping us back or has held us back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thing keeps.
You know, it's so frustrating. And, you know, doesn't it just...
It's just like, as someone who's having to deal with it myself, it's like, if I got frustrated at it, it will tear me to pieces because I've already been a victim. I'm not going to be a victim to the system as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make it work for me. Rather than, you know, fight against. Well, it's kind of a fight against it, but it's a fight. Apparently, I have this white knight savior complex thing me and my therapist were talking about. But I was just saying, but if I don't do it, who's going to do it? But it's kind of how it feels. Like, if I don't stand up and, you know, do something about this particular thing that's happened to me, then that's just going to continue on.
Right.
I look like a clown right now. But yeah, but it's just, but That's everyone, their own situation. If they don't fight for themselves, who's going to fight for them?
Right. And I mean, isn't that
Not the system.
well, and going back to like that's what we're supposed to do as good humans. We're supposed to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves, to stand with people, to lift people up, to make sure people are heard. Like it makes me so angry that people just act like people's lives don't matter, situations don't count. I mean, believe me, I am as level headed and I can see both sides just as good as anybody. I can truly see both sides. And, but there comes a point where, like we were talking about yesterday, have we just lost our humanity? Have we just lost that part of us as a collective that allows us to see people as humans who need help? Like, have we just gotten so wrapped up in our own whatevers that we just don't help? Whether it's giving $5 to a homeless person or a blanket or buying them a cup of coffee or, helping somebody, like, what happened to us?
I think things have been lost in scale. Like, because there's people out there who have to look after so many people, it's hard to care and have heart and absolute feeling for every single individual. It's like our tribes, our villages have got so much bigger that the leader of the village can't know every little child of the village anymore, which is how it used to be. It's just, and I'm putting it in like a metaphorical sense, but that's how it feels. And so the government treats us like we're these little, that we're nothing, because they just see us as numbers. We're not people to them, even though they're people. They don't see us as people because we're just numbers. We're just statistics, and they don't see us as actual people. And I just think, but how did you get to where you are? Like, don't you wipe your ass the same as everybody else? You're just as human as we are.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what it comes down to. Everybody is the same, and yet they're going walking around because they get to make all the decisions. Like, they're better than us. They're not better. They just have more power than us. And the thing is, guess who puts them there? The majority of the voters. And I'm not getting all political, and I'm like, because I'm not either side, but they're not there because they earned the job. They're there because they got put there because they were a little bit showy, a little bit whatever. If they get voted in, they're not voted in because they're better than anybody. They're voted in because they're a little bit better at marketing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it comes down to. It's all about marketing these days. And it's not about policy.
Right. And here's the other thing, and I'll share this. I have voted in every election since I was 18 years old because there were women in America who were suffragettes, who wore white, who went against their husbands, who went against society and fought for my right to vote. So I have and I will vote in every election. And it just gets to me, like, where did our sense of fight go? America was founded by people who said, we're not going to take it anymore. We're going to go over here. We're going to do our things. Right?
Sorry.
I mean, hell, we threw a bunch of tea. We threw a bunch of tea off the ship in the Boston Tea Party. We chucked a whole bunch of tea over the side of the ship to prove a point. Where did that country go? Where did that passion go? Where did that freedom,
It's still there.
I wonder. I mean, I really wonder, like,
it
give
really
me
is. Like,
liberty or give me justice. Where did that go? Like, I
it's
know
really
maybe
still there. It really is. Like, if you dig down deeper and go past the things that everybody is seeing, like the stuff on, you see the grassroots, the people who, it's still there. People do still care. America, Australia, China. I assume we're not allowed to hear about if they care, but
I think it's so far gone in the States that it's hard to find it again. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we are dealing with is just ridiculous. I mean, it's
I
ridiculous.
just think that those with the loudest voices make the most noise, and those with the loudest
Yeah.
voices have the least to say. You know,
Yeah.
so
True.
it's just like, but it's
Seems to
really
be.
there. Like, and I have so many American friends and all that sort of stuff, and they're all still wanting to fight for, and on all sides. You know, I'm not someone who's like, I'll only talk to you if you vote for someone who I vote for, even though I don't really vote anyway. I'm not like that.
I mean,
But
I
it's
think
like,
we
yeah.
should. I think we should just organize a march, you know, and be like, stop fentanyl,
What are we going to march
help
about?
evictions.
Stop this shit.
Yes,
Stop this
that could
shit
be
march.
our logo. Yes, you know,
Stop
I
this
mean,
shit.
and you know what's really hard is, you know, like people sometimes get afraid to stand up and fight. You know, like everybody needs that person to like lead the charge and to light that fire under somebody. And honestly, we haven't had anyone like that in the States for decades.
All the time.
You know, we haven't had anyone. I mean, think about it. The last president that really kind of lit a fire under people's butts and got them all together and rallied around him was probably Reagan. And since then, I just don't know that there's been a lot of presidents who have really just been able to collectively like do good that way. And
Yeah.
you know, and I think we
I think
just
that's
need to,
because you shouldn't. I've never. Okay, so let me just say, as an outsider looking in, how can you vote for one dude and expect that one dude to do everything? You shouldn't be voting for the guy.
That's
You should be
true.
voting for the party. You shouldn't vote for the party. You should vote for the party, not the guy. Because the guy is just if you vote for the guy, then that guy can be like, I have all the power, and that's not how it should be. Because in Australia, our dude, our leader, we don't vote for the leader. The party votes for the leader, and that leader can get kicked out multiple times throughout the thing, as if they're not performing. Just imagine if that happened over, and how many guys you guys would go through if that.
well,
Yeah. But it's
here's
like
the thing.
we don't vote for personality as much as we vote policy over here.
When Americans vote for president, we vote for ideals. We vote for the ideals of the person. That's where the parties come in. When we vote on a state and local level, we vote for people who get things done. When we vote for our president, we are voting for ideals. Now, whether that ideal is wrapped up in a person or it's wrapped up in a party, we're voting for ideals because we want someone, the way that most Americans see it is we want someone to represent us and our ideals and stand fast. We know that that president's power is very limited because if you have a Democratic president and a Republican Congress, they're not going to get anything done, vice versa. That's why Kennedy didn't get anything done. Kennedy had some great ideas and he was stopped fast. So that balance of power, those checks and balances that our founding fathers put in to help keep things balanced is what really chucks it out of balance a lot of times. So we know he's not going to get most things done. He might get 2 or 3 things done on the entire platform he runs on. But it really is about, you know, because you look at 9/11. Bush, love him, hate him, brought the country together. Look at where we're at now. We're so divided. Texas and 26 other states are like ready to
Secede.
just throw their hands up and be like, to all of you. And it's a real problem. I mean, it's very civil war-y over there. It is really a big thing. And I think this is the huge, I just don't know. I mean,
Well, see, that's where I think you guys have gone wrong is voting on ideals. Because look at the people you're voting in, and that's going back as far as anything. No one I've ever seen voted in has been anything but someone who's come from money, except for maybe Obama. I think his mum wasn't rich. I'm not sure. See, I've stopped paying attention because I'm like, me paying attention is not going to change anything anyway. Especially, but American politics affects the rest of the world, and that's why the rest of the world has a bit of an
That's in a
interest.
big way. That's why it's so important. Hold on.
Yeah, so like, you know, because when you guys decide to go somewhere into like some sort of disagreement battle or whatever, Australia's like, let's go, and Australians are like, why? But the government's come on like, yeah, let's go, we're like their buddies, woo. Australians like, what are they doing for us? But yeah, it's just like, but I don't understand it anyway, because none of it ever makes sense. Like, why we should never place this much importance in any one person. Like, so, and that's coming from someone who's got like, well, had a queen. I don't have a king. I refuse. So,
And
but
I
yeah.
want to say, Huck, I don't think Reagan was perfect. And there were a lot of things that were wrong. We've never had a perfect president. I was just using it as an example with the Berlin Wall and everything like that. But yeah, there were a lot of people that died with his policies. A message paid for by Christie for president. No, Christie does not want to be president.
Just imagine.
Can you imagine the
You want the
Hobbit range
turkey
in
leg.
the Oval Office?
You'd have to change Lady Liberty's torch to a turkey leg with a disco ball.
That I would do that.
Yeah. No, but no, I don't think anyone's perfect. Like, even Jacinda Ardern, and she was great, you know, but she made some things I'm like, don't know if I could vote for you after that. You know, even though, like, I'm a Kiwi and I could have voted, but I just didn't. It's just like, what's the point? I'm not over there.
I think, you know, and I think the other thing is we used to, as a country, vote for who represented us and our ideals and what we wanted. And now we just vote for the lesser of two evils.
That's what Rebecca
I hear
was
a
saying.
lot of people
It does
saying,
feel that way.
you know, well, I'm not going to vote for this person. Or I'm voting for this person because I just don't want this person to get it, you know, and, you know, I think that there's just a lot that it's so sad to see, you know. I mean, we're seeing it in all countries. I mean, you know, we're seeing it with Cosmic and what she's going through, and Stasia, what she's going through, and what we're going through here, and what Texas is going through. And, you know, there's problems all over the world, and, you know, we can't fix all of the problems. But man, wouldn't it be nice if we just, as a world, had a warm, fuzzy feeling for like a couple of days? You know, if we can all just get together and hug each other or something, just like set it aside and be like, you know.
Well, the thing is, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's our children. They are our future, and if we just teach them that, you know, they have the power. You know, that government doesn't have how. Look, I'm not an anti-government person, but we need to teach our children how that government works, because I learned in school. I paid attention
too. And we had this thing called Boys and Girls States, where we actually had a whole thing where, you know, people would run for offices and we would vote, and the people, you know, and almost everybody participating got to have some kind of role in making decisions for the collective.
Yeah, and it just it shows how important it is. And not only that, but it should show the impact it has on everybody, not just locally, but globally. Like what decision you make now as your country can affect this country, and it can affect that country. We should stop thinking just as patriots. We should start thinking as global citizens. You know, we are citizens of the world.
Yeah.
You know, we should stop putting in these lines are defined by wars and men generally. You know, lines on a map, or, you know, an island. You know, Australia's pretty lucky we're out here on an island, so we've got our lines defined. But generally, the lines are defined by someone who decided that this is what I want. I'm going to go take it from these people, and I'm going to put this line here, and now it's mine. But the lines are human made. But we should stop thinking of this world as, I own this particular country. It's mine. Okay, you're a citizen of that country, but in general, you're a citizen of the world, and we should care about what happens to every single person on this planet. you
If
know,
one
down
person cared about one person that wasn't their family or friends, and every person did that, can you imagine?
Well,
yeah,
and
you
I
know,
think
and
even
it doesn't
being
seem that hard.
able,
It doesn't.
even even being able to talk to some, like I love to talk to people who have completely different views than I do. And not to try to change them or anything. I want to hear why they believe what they believe, what they have to say, and I want to learn because maybe I'm wrong, right? I mean, I'm not perfect. I don't know. I can be wrong.
Exactly, and that's where I think everybody, not everybody, many people go into conversations wrong, is that they
Yeah,
want to change the other person's opinion because they think
yeah,
they're right in everything and everybody else is wrong, or everybody that they agree with in their little bubble is right and everybody else
yeah.
is wrong. When
And how
we're
dangerous is
all
that to stay in your own little bubble? Like when I was growing up, it was called the Baptist bubble. And I'm not bagging on anybody who's Baptist, but we just called it the Baptist bubble. That's what it was. And
well, you've got the
but
Bible
you
about as
don't,
well, so there's a whole range of terms.
yeah, but you don't learn anything from that when you're
Yeah.
only
And
ever
you're not
around.
challenged as to why you think the way you do and
Right.
believe the way you do. And
Yes, and it doesn't give you the opportunity to grow. And Tommy this morning was talking about settling, and don't settle in your life. And if not settling means having a conversation with somebody who doesn't believe like you do, or doesn't think politically like you do, or is on a complete opposite side of an issue, educate yourself. Like, I don't understand why, like, where it fell off the cliff that people just stopped learning, stopped educating themselves, stopped learning, stopped caring, stopped knowing about history. You have to know about history so you don't repeat it, so you know what it looks like when it starts coming up again. I mean, there's a reason why there are leaders in the world who, or, previous leaders whose names we don't even say, like, you don't go around just throwing the name Hitler out there. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's like, oh, the dude, the mustache dude. Like, there's so many things, like, but you have to learn from it. And that's the only way we can learn. And it's the only way we can grow. And it breaks my heart. And it doesn't mean that I agree with everything that happened in history, because I don't, because it's been really horrendous to a lot of people. But
yeah,
we
Well,
can
the
learn
thing
from
is,
it.
history is written by the victors, so a lot of history isn't
Yeah.
even correct anyway.
yeah.
So, so we need to take into account history on both sides. I'll use Australia as an example. What I learned when I first came to Australia is not actually the history of Australia. It was the settlers' history. It wasn't the history. I didn't learn that Australian had 60,000 years of culture and civilization before Captain Cook came here and decided, but it's just, you don't learn that in school because you're taught whatever who's teaching you wants you to know. So it's on us to go out and learn ourselves, And a lot of it stops. Like you were saying, Chrissy, it seems to have stopped. It's like, why? I don't understand. Like, learning new stuff is just amazing things. Like, it's just, like, have you ever heard of ASMR?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this tingly feeling that you're meant to get at the back of your head when you listen to people eat, because some people are strange, or some people like listen to people talk really quietly.
Yeah. Or
The talking really quietly is like, can you stop being so creepy? But anyway, but when I learn something new information that's like, enlightening or completely different to anything that I've ever known, I get that same ASMR feeling in the back of my head, like that warm, like, whoa, I know something. Now I have to tell everybody else.
Yeah.
But it's just like a nice feeling, and it seems to have stopped. It's like it seemed to have stopped at people's phone and what they can Google it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm not anti-technology at all.
Oh no, right. Well, I mean, there's so many good
Obviously.
things. Right. That come, but I miss that. I miss my favorite thing used to be going to the library and going to the card catalog and like looking up what I was looking for and taking the little tiny pencil that was like this big and the little scraps of paper and writing it down and
The Emmy
going
number.
finding
We
it.
call that an Emmy number in Australia. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Dewey Decimal System is what it is here. And you know, like, honest to God, I don't think my kids, if you plopped them down in the library with they could even find a book. They'd be like, what is this? You know, and I mean, but there's so many amazing things like that. Like, and I don't know. We just need to bring, you know, I mean, I know I'm really hippie and I know it doesn't always work this way, but it's like we need to bring the love back. We need to bring back compassion and humanity and thoughtfulness. And yes, I understand there's parameters for everything, boundaries. We talk about boundaries all the time, but good Lord, bring back the
You can love with boundaries. Loving with boundaries is so easy.
Yeah.
If you can love with boundaries,
Yeah.
you know, I love, like, you know, like everyone who comes across the boat or on here, you know, like I have this sense of love and community for, but there's also a boundary because, you know, well, one, there's the internet's a boundary, but, you know, you can love everyone with boundaries.
Yes,
You don't have to take on everybody else's situation, even though you love them.
That's true.
You're such a cheater. Dude, don't tell me that.
Cheater head.
That breaks my heart, man. No, see, I would go find the book and I would go home and I would read it and I would make notes and then I'd write 6 different drafts of the book report and then I'd turn it in once I thought it was perfect.
Oh.
Hi, La Chameleon. I hope your day gets better.
Oh. You know,
Yes.
we were just talking about crappy people. I'm so sorry that you're dealing with that. I hope that I hope that you have the wisdom and the strength and grace in this situation to know what you need to do for yourself.
That reminds me of a story. You know, my husband's very methodical and he has to do things a certain OCD kind of way. And he was working at a nursing home and he was in the memory care ward and you know, and he was he had introduced the new person that was coming on shift, and the lady that he was telling it to looked at him and said, "You live just to frustrate me. Come on, Donna."
I think I might say that to Michael next time he frustrates me. I'll be like, "You live to frustrate me."
So when I say, "Come on, Donna," Steve knows exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's funny because I watched this thing yesterday about having anxiety. It was a South Park thing. We all love South Park. But it was like Cartman going around going, "I've got anxiety." He's working, "I've got anxiety." So me and my mates yesterday were like, "We can't do it. We've got anxiety. Leave us alone." Because one, we all have anxiety. But two, it's like, why can't we go around shouting that we've got these problems? Everyone should just leave us the F alone. Just for now.
Right. Yeah. Well,
yeah, screw you guys. I'm going home. That's a joke.
The last 2 days, I really haven't mean to be so like, blah. But it just irritates me because it's the human part of it. See, you're starting to see what really gets me riled. Mess with humanity and people's freedoms and all like that, and I'm like, let's march on wherever. let's get on a plane and fly around the world to all of the capitals and just hold up our signs.
You know what? I was so much more that way before I got beaten up in my home. That's another one of those things that I want to get back.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird that just, it's like he knocked it out of me or something. What the hell?
Well, it's understandable in a way.
I feel it, but I used to be so passionate about it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you're passionate about saving yourself. You know, that's fine.
So.
Yeah. You know, when you're out there trying to save the world, very few people look into themselves and try and help themselves. And when you go through a traumatic event, you stop trying to save the world, and all you try and do is look after yourself and make sure you survive.
Wow. I hadn't thought of that.
That's really good. I like that.
Well, I only know that from my own experience. Hello, Henny.
Henny,
Yeah.
thank you.
I
Then,
always love to see you, Henny.
yeah.
And look, there's a Henny behind me. I'm a Henny. Hang on. It's like, bark.
She's a little
That's
tail.
chicken.
Yes.
Bark. No, I'll never get over that, so I've got to stop.
No. Well,
That
and
makes
honestly,
sense.
you know, in the last few days, I don't know, I've just been more riled up. Maybe it's the full moon energy. I'm like, conquer the world. Huzzah. Going.
All my energy's been going to puppies and dogs and all that good stuff. Seems like I've
Yeah.
had a lot to put my energies into.
Well, I'll be
Well,
the
I've made
little
it to my
angry
second month.
political hobbit of the group. I'll be like, humanitarianism.
Well, look, we're going to have to join a union. Little angry hobbit Christie union. Yeah. But no, I was having a bit of an issue because today's now, I'm on to my second month. The
Oh
first-
yeah. Did
how
I
are you feeling
have you
about
gotten
that?
a tiara yet?
Are you doing
Yeah,
good?
I don't feel like I deserve it today.
Why? Why
Hey.
not?
Because it was a struggle to get through today. Wasn't
But
easy.
you got through it.
But did you get through it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, thank you. It's so pretty.
You
I'm gonna need my
made
own one
it,
now.
you made it a month and you're starting into your second month, and that's amazing. And you're smiling. Look at you. You're glowing.
I smile every day.
Well, I know, but still, I mean, getting sober is not always fun, and it's not always, pleasant. It's work, and it's not fun work all the time,
Yeah.
No. I actually kind of had to pull away from the recovery stuff for a little bit because I'm like, I don't know if I can today. So,
Okay.
although I did I not this meeting in particular because I think yesterday I missed it, but I was asleep. If I miss this meeting, it's only because I'm asleep, not because I'm isolating.
Right on.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah,
Well,
other than that,
you made it, and you're into your second month. How amazing is that? How amazing.
I
it doesn't
think
feel
it-
amazing. I don't know. How are you supposed to feel?
Well, that's the whole point, is you just get to feel whatever the feel is.
Mhm.
I think that might be my issue is now I'm feeling too much because I'm a very emotional being.
Yeah.
And now I just want to run away. I told everyone, like, I just want to get a van and I'm going to run away. And they're like,
Yeah.
and then my housemate's like, oh, yeah, we can move. We can do this. I'm like, I mean, you need to get your, no. And then, like, I'm just like, I just want to run away. I want to go live near the beach and I just want to go for a drive. Like, I just want to drive. I want to make YouTube videos about me driving and fishing.
There you go.
Because I just feel trapped, like come to a certain point. Maybe it's recovery point that if I keep going the way that I am, I'm going to get back to where I was because nothing really has changed other than me.
Well, I mean, you've changed is a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'm the one who I am. That's what I'm saying. Like I've changed so much that I don't want what I've got now.
Oh,
I want to leave. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Oh, like,
I gotcha.
You
Okay.
want to ascend, like move up and move out of the energy you're in, kind of thing.
I want to run away. I want to drive. I want to drive around and be a hippie and just live in my van, air conditioned van. Australia, not stupid. Just live in my van and just drive and see beaches and because I've been caring after everybody my whole life and I'm 45. When does that stop?
Yeah.
Well,
So it's just like I had my kids.
Maybe running away is in order. You never know.
Yeah. And like I said to my bestie, it's not like it's going to be for ages. I mean, you know me. I'll be like, broken nail. I need to go to my nail technician because I don't like anyone else because all the other ones talk to me. So I'll just be like, so I'll be like, it's not like I'll be gone forever or, it's long-term sort of stuff. It's just that
Right.
I need to
Yeah.
get away. I haven't traveled.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something beautiful about traveling now, because you do. It's like it just opens up a whole new world to you, new experiences, new opportunities, new energies, new places, new people.
Yeah, and the good thing is now, like even if I do YouTube videos, it's not like I'll be doing it to become famous. It's just because my daughter's not here to see it. My son won't be with me. My friends won't be with me, and I don't have a visual memory, so it's not like I'll be like going, and then I saw this and this. I'll be like, I'm pretty sure I saw a fish, and there was a tree and some rocks. There was definitely some rocks. So I need to take videos. So, but it's just like it's a way of like we didn't have that before. We just used to take photos.
Yeah.
Now I can take
Right.
videos. Like, did
Yes,
you ever
you
hear
can.
those mothers who are never in the photos with their kids?
Say what?
So their kids never have memories of them. The parent, like those parents who are never in the photos of their children. They're always taking the mothers. It's generally the mothers. They're taking photos of their children and of their family. They're not generally in the photo, so that when the mother gets older, the children don't have memories of their mother being herself, like videos and stuff, because she's the one doing the videoing.
I see. Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because you don't put yourself in there, so you would just expect your kids to remember. But when they get older, they've got nothing left of you because you were the one taking the videos.
Mention that to my daughter.
Luckamillion wants to know, do you think you might have reached a fork in the road, Cosmic?
Yeah, well, my son says that I'm hitting what's that midlife crisis, and I says, look, come back to me when I get. He goes, are you going to get a motorbike now? No, I'm not stupid. And he goes, hey, and look, if I was to take up motorbike riding now, it would be stupid, considering I fall off regular bikes, and they go a lot slower. So I said, no, it's not a midlife crisis. It's just like this is what it was always meant to be. I had kids early so I could live in my 40s.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking after like a whole,
Huh?
Do it, Cosmic. Rent you a little RV or hippie van or whatever.
You've raised your kids. They're doing fine. Yeah.
I don't think it's stupid. It's just I don't have the balance. Yeah.
That's why I ride on the back of a motorcycle. I just hold on to Michael and he goes.
Yeah, but when they're going around the corners and they lean into the corners, I'm there going, stop leaning into the corners so much. Yeah, I'm like, stop it. So I'm like, you know what?
Let yourself just melt into them and lean. Yeah, if you fight, that's not.
Oh yeah, look, we're gonna fall over the corner. Oh yeah, no, stop. Yeah, no, I just can't. I'm just the worst passenger ever. So, but I think it's great. Like, we should all get to do whatever we want to do, and I think maybe this is a midlife crisis.
No,
this is cool.
That's
Means
okay.
I get to live to 90. Ooh.
Yeah, there you go.
Cosmic awakening. I don't think it's a midlife crisis. I think it's a cosmic awakening.
There you go. I like that. That's better.
Yeah, but it's just like I haven't got to travel. All I've done is be a mum and a carer.
Yeah.
And not to say that that's not. And like I said to my son, like, don't get me wrong, no regrets, because there are none. But there comes a certain point in time you kind of, when do I get to live for myself instead of everybody else? And I'm single. I don't have to worry about like some dude being like, you can't do this because shut down. Basically, because I don't even have to worry about that now. So it's great. I can do whatever, and I just want to travel.
Do
it.
You can check in with us every day. We'll see where you are. We can get you on Life 360. We'll track you. We'll know where you're at all times, how fast you're driving, how many times
I'm already on.
There you go.
I'm already on Life 360. And
I'm
that
on
thing
line
lies. It said I used my
62.
phone 5 times last week. I did not.
62. We'll just link up and I'll be like, oh, she's here.
She's going too fast. What's 120 k's in miles?
That would be my question. Be like, slow down. I wanted to say, I kind of heard something about this, but what is it? What is the rabbit thing, Mike?
Okay, Rabbit had sent like 16 questions to Mike Rinder about somebody that she had either talked to or was talking to, who was in the Aftermath show, who was SA'd, and it was covered up in Scientology. And the person that was kind of in charge at that time was Rinder. But I was watching Ono Nora, and she was saying actually the actual big boss was Claire Headley. She was actually bigger in rank than Rinder was. But I don't know. I kind of look at Rinder as kind of like the carry it out dude. The order comes and he's the enforcer. That's how I always viewed his position in Scientology.
Okay.
So instead of answering the questions and being, and taking ownership of whatever role was played there, he had an attorney, the attorney for the Aftermath, write to Rabbit, saying that you're trying to paint me in a bad light, and basically it sounded very Scientology's-esque.
Oh.
Well, you can take someone out of the cult, but you can't always take the cult out of the person.
Law Chameleon said
That's right.
the perpetrator was her father. Oh my goodness.
And it was covered up, and yeah.
Not by the Aftermath, I don't think. I just think that she reached out for the Aftermath for help and something happened.
Well,
See,
yeah, but
I've
anyway.
been trying so hard not to get involved in it, or to even pay attention, because it's just like, it feels to me like the Aftermath is dealing with the Aftermath and not dealing with stuff they should have dealt with in the beginning. So, and it's damaging.
They ended the letter with, if you sleep with the dogs, you get ticks.
Or get fleas or something like that. Yeah, you get fleas. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty insulting.
Yeah.
I was listening to Aaron read it this morning, and I was thinking, didn't someone make some chicken dance thing in some? I think it might have been some lawyer for some YouTube thing, and they made some ridiculous parabole or parable or whatever they call that thing. Something like some quote from some person. I'm just thinking, what is with the law these days that they can just think they can throw in quotes from people these days and make it was strange. It was strange. Benjamin Franklin said something too, apparently.
So this letter came from a law office, and they literally ended it with, if you sleep with the dogs, you get fleas.
Well,
yeah.
That was.
So now it's called Fleagate or Flea Squad or something like that.
Yeah. It was like it's either saying if you lay with dogs, you get fleas. So if whoever's helping you are dogs, and you've got fleas.
Okay. So she's actually got a lawsuit going, and she was asking for help on her case, and instead she gets, if you sleep with dogs, you'll get fleas.
Yeah, that's insulting for her and also whoever's helping or assisting her, which it doesn't make sense to me. And I'm just thinking, whatever damage control they're doing, they're just making more damage, which is really sad.
I'm glad that Aaron got out of that whole situation. It sounds like it's really not going well over there.
It's sad. It's just sad. I had a broader scope of ex-Scientologists that I used to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And, and that it's it started getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And then the Aftermath thing and Aaron kind of blew up, and it got smaller still. Because, the whole time I'm watching certain people,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, okay, they left Scientology, but did they leave the behavior?
Right.
And then within a few months, the question was answered. Aaron was kicked out of
Yeah.
the foundation that he founded.
Apparently that quote
I
comes
just,
from James Stanford, and it was
yeah.
said in 1573.
They also quoted something from Benjamin Franklin as well, which I did not make sense. I don't know. I was just like, this doesn't make sense. And then this meeting came. I'm like, I've got to keep. But yeah, as far as I just think that anyone who was in the cult are victims. And also, if you're in that sort of situation
But,
for a long time,
some of the people who left were perpetrators, though.
Exactly.
That's the sad thing.
That's what I'm saying. And it's just like, they're perpetrators, but do they have much of a choice? And that's what I'm trying to say is we kind of have to step back and just sort of think that these people are also severely traumatized. We don't know what sort of counseling they're getting properly. We don't know what they're going through in their own daily lives. And we only get to see small snippets of every day, and obviously whatever drama is going on now. And I just,
that's true.
Yeah, the quote was used from, but it's just like, either way, it's messy. It's not nice, and it leaves a bad taste. But I also just think
it sure does, and it doesn't paint them in the best light. It just doesn't.
And I just think a fresh start and let them live their lives that they haven't got to live.
People are going to react how to whatever light is being shown them.
Exactly, and so we're reacting.
If they don't like the backlash, don't shine the light on your,
Yeah, and it's kind of damaging to the point we kind of think they kind of need a fresh start altogether now. New everything, and I think
you have 3 couples that are all on the board. They're couples, and the board comprises of 6 people that are 3 couples that are all ex-Sea Org members.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, it's just like I just sort of think that perhaps everybody needs to step back, and perhaps the foundation needs to be run by people who aren't victims, or at least maybe have a couple on the board. But there's a vested interest in some of those to keep.
A reference seems to be taking a pop at, okay, because I didn't get what that was supposed to mean when it's like, okay, what dog is who's sleeping with? So I guess La Comedian says the reference was seeming to be taking a pop at Aaron, according to him.
Yeah, well, that's sort of what it came across as me.
Sense. I mean, if she's trying to go forward with a lawsuit, what does that have to do with Aaron?
When people are attacked, one attack means they're always on the defensive, and maybe that's where the people are coming from now. They're defensive all the time.
Well, it's not a good look. Let's just say it's not a good look.
No, and I'm a devil's advocate. I always try and be like, let's just calm the situation and just settle. But it's just
if it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, let's call it a duck, shall we?
Oh, same. It's probably a duck, It's probably a fuck duck at that. Look at that fuck duck. But it's just like, I don't know. It's just so hard
because Rabbit took Aaron's side. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. It's becoming like high school.
Oh, and so that's real mature.
That's what I'm saying. It's becoming like high school.
Immaturity at the
Debbie Doodles
level. Debbie Doodles. It's a duck. Thank you.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I just think it's becoming so like high school, and they were so. I don't like if from what you watch as far as the Sea Org is concerned. That's very high school. They're all dobbing on each other constantly, telling on each other, and it's just like maybe they haven't got out of that yet. They're still confined to that. Yeah, and how hard would it be if that was their life for so long? And that's not making excuses.
Absolutely.
It's an
no, and I 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and
it would be hard.
So it's just Yeah, and you can kind of see it sometimes in the way they talk. They've still got some of that authority type thing because they were so high in their situation. And to come out into the world where you're just a regular person and find out that shit is all bullshit, just imagine what it does to your mind. You know? Yeah. That's all I think about. Is like it just must have done something to your mind to think that you're so high up in the world, like in the Sea Org, the Scientology world, and then to get knocked down so many times, and then to find out when you're out in the real world that it's all a lie. I just, and just, being from my little tiny baby cult, which is a Christian cult, so, quite old, technically, it's the same sort of feeling. It's like, how did I believe this? I'm a smart person. And so you talk yourself into it as into why you believed it, and you kind of rationalize it in your head. And I don't know, because I wasn't born into a cult, so I don't know what it would be like if you are. But just, I've done so much rationalization in my head that, I've made excuses for churches and stuff when I'm just thinking, they're all shit.
I used to do a lot more of that, and somewhere along the line, I got bitch slapped out of me.
Yeah, someone called it an apologist. Yeah. So when you're making excuses for whatever you come out of, you're an apologist. So, and that sort of makes a lot of sense because you kind of have to, because you're like, well, if I don't, then how can I rationalize how I ended up there in the first place, or let it happen? Mm-hmm. Because that's the theory is like, well, that's what we are all told, is that we let this happen to us.
Yeah, victims. Well, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I know, right? It's not nice. It's not true. It's what we're all told. It's complete and utter bullshit. Oh yeah, totally. I totally wanted this to happen. What do they say in Scientology? I pulled this in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, what is that ridiculous thing they say? I was thinking, how do you even do that? Would you just sit there going, okay, dear, in this instance, Xenu, I'm having a pretty good day. I just feel like, some shit happening. Can you just pull some shit in for me today? I don't know what it is. Just pull in something. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is crazy. The whole thing's crazy, and I hope it all gets worked out and everybody moves on to their best and perfect lives for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whatever that may be.
All right, Rebecca. I hope you get to feeling better.
Yeah.
I'm trying really hard to think I don't have COVID. My mates have COVID. Yeah, I did it to myself. Yeah. Well, right now it's just a head cold and severe aches, but I ache all the time. So I'm just like, it's not COVID. I refuse.
Well, does everybody feel like we've had a meeting? I mean, we've certainly vented.
Yeah. I would say
I like these sort of meetings
every once in a while it's good to vent.
Yeah. You learn a lot more about people. You're like, oh, she gets upset about this, and she gets upset about that, and she gets upset about this, and this is what she looks like.
I get upset about everything, apparently. I'm so sensitive. I'm like, yeah, I'm sensitive. I'm just looking for my sensitive skin.
Yeah, venting is good. I hope it's not COVID too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, it might be. It might not be. Even if it is, I'll be fine.
Well, we want to do some box breathing and a meditation, or just a box breathing? What are you guys up for?
I think a meditation's in order. We've kind of, like I said, we've all been venting, and sometimes it's good.
We can all get pulled back into our wise minds instead of a reactive emotional mind.
All right. Well, then let's go ahead. We'll do 3 of the box breaths. So we'll breathe in through our nose for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and exhale through our mouth, letting all the air out of our lungs, letting our shoulders drop. And then we'll go into a little guided meditation. And when everything is done, I'll say whenever you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. So go ahead and close your eyes And roll your shoulders back and forth, get loose. And shake it out a little bit. And go ahead and drop into your heart space, whether that looks like a small version of yourself going into your heart center to sit in all of the love that you have, or it's simply placing your hand on your heart. We'll go ahead and do 3 box breathing. Go ahead and breathe in. Hold. And exhale. Breathe in. Hold. And exhale. Last one, breathe in. Hold. And exhale. I want you to imagine that you are in a beautiful prairie. There are beautiful flowers blowing in the breeze. You're surrounded by mountains, trees, and a beautiful, beautiful sky. Beautiful and blue, big white fluffy clouds. There's a slight wind blowing, slight breeze blowing through your hair. And you look off into the distance and you see your most favorite animal, whether that's a pet that you had or have, or just an animal that just makes you smile. And this animal is running toward you. The little puppy, its ears are flapping and its tongue is hanging out. If it's a horse, its majestic mane is blowing in the breeze. And this animal runs up to you, and you smile and you laugh and you giggle with glee. And this animal just lets you love it and lets you pet it. If it's small enough, it helps it sits in your lap. And it just gives to you all of its love, calmness, and grounding. And it takes from you anything that no longer serves you. Whether you're riled up from venting, or you've had a bad day, or something that upset you. And you just sit there and smile and pet this animal that you love so much. And then it licks your face, or it whinnies, or whatever. It runs back off into the distance, leaving you with a heart full of joy, a big smile on your face, feeling grounded, and taking with it all of the things that no longer serve you. And as you look up, you see all of us standing just a little far off in the field. And we smile and we motion to you. And you come over and join us. And we all laugh and giggle. And in this moment, we stand in a circle and hold hands, smiling at each other, sharing the love and warmth and camaraderie that we have for each and every one of us. And as you take this moment in, unconditional love, grounding, solitude, and sheer joy, when you are ready, open your eyes.
Did you hear my animal coming in?
I did.
I was like, I could hear a bark. I'm like, is that me? Is
Yes.
that?
Yes. Well, you guys all have a wonderful evening. I felt like we needed some puppies or bunnies or butterflies or something to help us out.
I love the
So-
majestic mane of the horse. I was like,
Yes.
oh, majestic mane.
Majestic mane blowing in the wind. All right. Well, I will see you all tomorrow. You guys have a wonderful night. Love you all.
Love you too.
Love you.
And huzzah! That's right, Shell.
Huzzah. Yes. Oh, it's lovely to catch up again.
Good
I
to
always
see
feel
you,
like it's not
Calvin.
quite a day if I don't do these meetings.
Right on.
I'm like, missed my meeting. I was walking around, me and Mia the other day, because I slept in. I was walking around to Mia. I was like, I missed my meeting. She was like, oh no. Yeah, it was very cute. All right. I love you guys.
Love you too.
Okay, have a great one. Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye. Well, you guys, this was fun. A little change of pace. We can use that from time to time. CK, I like to talk to you about that more. Why don't you message me? And anyway, and thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this community. It's wonderful. It's good. Even if it's not feeling good all the time, it is good. You know, and I love that you guys are just part of this community. And we are what we are, you know. And I love you guys so much, and I hope to see you next meeting. And until then, y'all, peace.